Many of you already know that Facebook is dealing with an advertiser boycott, and Zuckerberg here is still being very defiant through the whole thing. Now, I was reading he stands to lose $70 billion in the month of July alone for this big advertiser boycott. And he's still ignoring a lot of the civil rights groups that want him to do something about all of the racism that's going on over on Facebook. This is NPR, and I'm going to go ahead and play this audio for you.
Facebook has made, quote, vexing and heartbreaking decisions about free speech. That is according to an independent audit into how the social network handles issues such as discrimination, hate speech, and election interference. Facebook asked for this investigation 2 years ago. Today, the investigators are slamming the company and its leaders for some of their decisions. For this week's All Tech Considered, NPR's Shannon Bond joins us. And before we get going, I should mention Facebook is a financial supporter of NPR. Hey, Shannon.
Hey, Mary Louise.
All right, so investigators slamming decisions by leaders of Facebook. What decisions are we talking about?
Well, this is really about speech, and the most prominent example is President Trump. So recently, he's put up Facebook posts falsely claiming that voting by mail is rife with fraud. And he made a really inflammatory post about the recent protests against racism. And the auditors say those posts clearly violated Facebook's own rules against voter suppression and inciting violence. But Facebook didn't take the posts down. The audit also slammed the company's policy of not fact-checking ads by politicians. That's something Facebook has gotten a lot of criticism over.
Yeah.
And overall, the audit says, these decisions are really emblematic of how Facebook has chosen to prioritize free speech above all other values. They say that risks overshadowing gains it has made fighting discrimination. For example, it no longer allows advertisers to target housing and job ads based on age, gender, or zip code.
What is Facebook saying in response?
Well, the company, as you said, did ask for this audit. It commissioned it from Laura Murphy, a former ACLU executive and a civil rights law firm. And Chief Operating Officer Sheryl Sandberg said today that Facebook will make some of the changes that it's recommending, including hiring a senior vice president who will make sure civil rights concerns inform decisions on products and policies. But when it comes to setting firmer boundaries on political speech, that's something CEO Mark Zuckerberg has resisted. He says Facebook is committed to free expression, even when politicians make false claims. And Facebook says it won't adopt every recommendation being made in this report.
Now, this audit drops as another development plays out. All of these brands, I think we're at more than 1,000 now, pausing their advertisements on Facebook in the name of protesting hate speech. Are any of them, or the organizers of that boycott, are they speaking up today?
Yep, and what I'm hearing is a lot of skepticism about Facebook. Here's Rashad Robinson. He's president of Color of Change, one of the groups behind the boycott.
The recommendations coming out of the audit are as good as the action that Facebook ends up taking. Otherwise, it is a roadmap without a vehicle and without the resources to move. And that is not useful for any of us.
Another boycott organizer I spoke with today is Jonathan Greenblatt of the Anti-Defamation League. He told me he thinks the boycott's just going to keep growing. And remember, it's already gone global until Facebook takes real action on their demands.
Yeah, it sounds like we now have this damning audit, this big boycott, pressure from many directions on Facebook to change its ways.
So that's right. And civil rights groups told me they're not going to ease the pressure on Facebook. I spoke to Vinita Gupta. She's head of the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights. And here's what she had to say about the audit.
It is a work in progress, clearly, and this report in some ways is a start and not a finish for the civil rights community.
So Gupta and other leaders I spoke to, they say it's just so urgent that Facebook act now because the presidential election is just a few months away. That's something the auditors also say they're really worried about. They say it in the audit. They say if Facebook doesn't get more serious about enforcing its policies, holding politicians to the same standards as other users, that will open the door to more voter suppression, even calls for violence on Facebook.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thanks so much.
NPR Shannon Bond.
Okay. Wow. There's just so many things going on that it is just not funny. including things going on Facebook. And, there's things also going on YouTube, but the Facebook boycott also includes Instagram. So, as you heard, the audit comes as hundreds of brands that say they're pledging not to advertise on Facebook this month. Now, many of them are saying this can go beyond July, depending on how everything goes. Some boycott organizers, which include the Color of Change and the Anti-Defamation League and the NAACP, held a call with Facebook leaders on Tuesday and hung up disheartened. They showed up to the meeting expecting uh, an A for attendance. And Robinson said CEO Mark Zuckerberg and other CEO and directors apparently many of them did not show up. So advertising account for more than 98% of the company, nearly $70 billion revenue last year. The boycott campaign stated the goal is to force Mark Zuckerberg to address the effect that Facebook has had on our society. I know so many people that have been on Facebook over the years, and they have been put in Facebook jail multiple times. And it just seems like others out there can do whatever and go untouched. And it really shouldn't be that way. But I guess he is going to hold out as long as he can on this whole thing. He doesn't seem to be budging, y'all. But you know what? I think as the months go by and more of these companies boycott, he'll feel the pain and he'll be singing a different tune. But y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.